Boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Hey, what's going on with AB, man? You know, these boxers have it rough. All athletes, all people go through ups and downs. But to see what happened with Adrian Broner last night, man, that really messed with my energy because Adrian Broner, thinking about where he was to where he is now, having people take advantage of him, I just think that's corny, man. Kick a man when he's down and then come back and try to come back now and want to go live. These guys want to come back and then go live, trying to apologize and make excuses for taking advantage of a vulnerable Adrian Broner. You know what I'm saying? It's not cool. But there are a lot of people who actually feel that Adrian Broner, that what happened to him yesterday, they feel that that was a blessing. They feel that what happened to Adrian Broner was something that needed to be brought to the forefront, and it's something that needs to be addressed. I'm going to tell you right now, it's no secret that Adrian Broner has struggled with alcohol addiction, right? But that doesn't mean that Adrian Broner needed to have his troubles with alcohol put out there to the world in that format. You know, he can never get that back. That's out there. You know, once you put that stuff out there on social media, out there on the internet, there's no pulling that back. Yeah, they took the video down, but the video's all out there circulating all around the internet. So it doesn't matter that they took it down. They should have just left it up. Well, actually, they should have never done the video. But they look stupid now trying to take it down when it's all over the place. You know, the damage has been done. It didn't help Adrian Broner. People need to stop pushing that narrative. Oh, yeah, they helped Adrian Broner. For those of you who are saying that, man, you need to reassess. Can't do Adrian Broner like that, man. Yeah, he's the one who chose to get drunk or high or whatever the hell was going on. He chose to come out there and do the interview, and he chose to talk. I hear you. But that's like having someone who's high, right? Or who's drunk, or it's just say intoxicated, right? Or someone who's in a capacity to where they can't take care of themselves, choose to go out and have sex, choose to go out here and do something to where if you're with them, you know they probably shouldn't be doing it. Because when people are under the influence of different things, they normally don't make the best choices. You know what I'm saying? So for anyone out there for the people who are out there saying, he's a grown man, he chose to be drunk, he chose to do the interview. Man, that's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Matter of fact, I'm going to say you guys are worse. For those who are saying that, you're worse than the people who did the interview. At least they didn't come out and say it. They posted it because they were chasing. And that's the thing about this YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. I mean, God, I get it. I get it. People want to get subscribers. People want to get views. For some people, this is it. They have all their eggs in one basket. Like, if YouTube doesn't hit for them, if they can't go on to become successful in this and generate 5, 10, 15, $20,000 a month, like, they're at the end of the road. They hit a wall. But man, you got to have some kind of values. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be some kind of core values there. Like what what makes you who you are? You know what I'm saying? And if it is being grimy and taking advantage of someone who's vulnerable, well then good. Now we know that. And that's why that channel has lost subscribers. And if people are really to me, if you have any decency about you, you'd probably reassess your subscription to that platform, because if they'll do it to AB, if they'll do it to If they'll do something like that to Adrian Broner, right? This is what sucks about it, right? This is what really pisses me off about what they did to Adrian Broner. He trusted them. Adrian Broner doesn't just give interviews to anybody, but he trusted them, right? You have someone who's a boxer like Adrian Broner, who's a superstar, who's a celebrity, right? You know that his whole situation is fragile. He trusts you enough to come on the show. He's intoxicated. As soon as they recognize that, which I'm sure as soon as he walked in, they did, they should have stopped right there. But no, they're so damn grimy, they probably started salivating, saying, man, we're gonna have some great content. We got Adrian Broner drunk. Get the cameras rolling. And they start to interview him, letting him talk and ramble on, and basically put himself in a bad space. That's horrible. All for views. This is supposed to be your guy. It's supposed to be your friend. It's supposed to be your teammate, man. All because you wanted your video to go viral. Not because of something positive he's done. Hell, you could have recorded Adrian Broner being intoxicated, um, and did something in a positive manner. But you want to come and put him out there and have him looking crazy. Horrible, man. And so those are the things that when it comes to me, I just can't do it. So now what does Adrian Broner do? He's already struggling with his mental health issues. He's got issues with his family. You know what I'm saying? The women who he has in his life. Well, I'm just saying the mother of his children. He has multiple mothers. Struggling with his boxing career, and now he has to worry about this crap. And then you hear people coming out here saying, "Yeah, he needs to get the help." Nobody wants to help Adrian Broner. And at the end of the day, I said this a few months ago. Adrian Broner kind of creates his own misery. Not gonna turn my back on him, but me as a boxing fan, I think it's kind of time that we long handle spoon him, because this the thing about Adrian Broner, you just can't keep letting somebody suck out your eyeballs. Like it seemed like Adrian Broner is a guy. He's wired a kind of way, kind of like Mike Tyson. You know, like it doesn't matter what you do to try to help and get to that person. Their demons have such a strong hold onto them that they can't shake them. They can't shake them. They're clinging to them like barnacles, man, and bogging them down. And the fact that, and listening to that interview yesterday, he said a lot, but the one thing that really got me is how he got real emotional about Al Heyman. And that you got to remember, Adrian Broner talked before. He didn't. He said something in one interview where it sounded like his dad wasn't there. His dad didn't show up later until later in his life. And I remember when he said that. So I said, okay. Then this whole Al Heyman thing comes into play, even with Floyd Mayweather. That could be why Broner kind of latched on to those guys the way he did. When he called Floyd Big Bro and said Al Heyman's like a father. I think Floyd and Al Heyman both kind of filled a void in Adrian Broner's life. And that void uh, that was filled made Adrian Broner feel complete. However, he had those demons inside him. And to this day, he has them to where if he doesn't like something, or if he feels a kind of way about something, he lashes out the only way that he has learned. And as a result, over the years, he's ended up in a lot of bad situations. You know what I'm saying? So then you come now and see what this thing about Al Heyman and Adrian Broner crying because Al Heyman, uh, obviously they talk every day, but Al Heyman is long handle spooning him as well. We already know Floyd Mayweather just doesn't deal with him, and Adrian Broner wants that. You know, he talks about the money, wanting Floyd Mayweather to give him an exhibition fight. Floyd Mayweather, and I don't He feels Floyd Mayweather should be hooking him up because basically they're both, you know, both black fighters. And instead of hooking up, a guy like John Gotti Jr. Or John Gotti the Third, whatever the hell his name is, instead of hooking up other fighters who aren't black, I don't agree with that. I do think if there was a better relationship between Floyd and Adrian Broner, maybe Floyd would help Adrian Broner, but Adrian Broner has burnt bridges. You know what I'm saying? You can't continue burning bridges. That's what happens. There's nothing to cross to get to the other side. And even if you don't burn the bridge, they got another saying. It says, "Don't insult the crocodile before you cross the bridge. Leave that crocodile alone so you can peacefully get across." But when you come poking and insulting the crocodile and you think you're gonna cross that bridge, nah, that crocodile gonna take a pound of flesh out of you. And that's what's happened. Adrian Broner has consistently burnt bridges, insulted crocodiles, to where now he is having pounds of flesh ripped out of him and out of his career. And it's unfortunate. And the thing is, when you see these guys who did that interview, man, they haven't been around that long. You can look at their subscribers. They're not a huge platform, but it looks like they have something good going. But you get some guys you don't know. Adrian Broner don't know those guys like that. But, they happen to convince him to come on there. And Adrian Broner, whoever was with him, I blame them too. No way in the world, whoever was with Adrian Broner, his friends, his teammates, his staff, whatever the hell he has, should have let him go forward in that interview. No way. Or they should have said, "Stop. Let's edit this before we go public." But those clowns who did the interview, they couldn't wait to put that out there. And then they got that negative backlash, and now they're not even concerned about Adrian Broner. You know what they're concerned about? They're concerned about their channel. That's what they're concerned about. They don't care about AB. They're worried about losing subscribers, losing their channel. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's embarrassing to me, and that's what's horrible. You're gonna come out now to try to save face, to try to save your channel, but you don't care anything about Adrian Broner. You don't care if this man goes out here and ends up hurting himself or whatever happens with him in his career and can't make money to take care of his kids. Don't get me wrong, Adrian Broner, he's done a lot of crazy stuff. I'm not acting like, I'm not setting that aside. But the way that happened yesterday, I have no respect for it. Nah, man, nobody deserves it to go through that. But that being said, we'll see what happens with Adrian Broner if he can get his stuff together. But man, he got an uphill battle. You just got to confront it, man. He's talked about it. He's an open book. But for us to see it like that, I mean, hell, who hasn't been drunk before? That's all I'm saying. I've been drunk. I'm sure a lot of y'all have been drunk. Nobody wanted to, especially even in these days, try to record it and share it with the world. But Adrian Broner, with his platform and profile, is just the world we live in. I mean, shit. Could you imagine if Adrian Broner was somewhere and someone punched him in the face? Nobody would help him. They were recorded. Oh, a drunk Adrian Broner got knocked out. Not one person would stop and try to help him, because that's this era we're in. That's this generation, man. Everything is with these stupid phones. Trying to record something, get a click, get views. Man, this stuff doesn't make you famous. Doesn't put any real money in your pocket, unless you get up to like 1 million subscribers and all that. You're getting people to donate to your channel. You got merchandise, but you sitting at 11,000 subscribers. You ain't making no real money. I'm telling you just from what I know, with a guy that has almost 3,000 subscribers. I'm just telling you, there's no real money there. You got to really bubble up your platform to start to make real money. But that being said, we'll see what happens with AB. If he'll get the help he needs, I mean, I wonder what Don King can do for him. I mean, at this point in time, what Don King is, we can say what we want about Don King. There's a lot of wisdom with Don King. A lot of wisdom with Don King. I even read a comment yesterday. Somebody was like, oh man, Don King drove Adrian Broner to drinking. Let me tell y'all something. Don King probably saved Adrian Broner's life. Now, this is my opinion. Could you imagine how Adrian Broner felt? Nobody at all wanted to mess with him. I can't blame it. I can't blame promoters, managers, some of his fellow boxers, guys outside the sport of boxing who've had business relationships with Adrian Broner. I can't blame them for saying, you know what, let me kind of step aside, remain cordial, but let's end these dealings with him on a business level. I can't fault him. Adrian Broner created a lot of his misery, but he was going through a rough patch, man. And then unfortunately, he said a bunch of things about PBC, Al Heyman. I don't know if he meant to be negative, but you know, sometimes these young people, they got this thing talking about want to keep it real. What's that shit they say? No cap, no cap. We used to say no fronting, right? So he want to come out here and be real and share with the people what goes on over there at PBC, Al Heyman, say things about Mayweather. Anyway, nobody wants to mess with him. Don King comes, saves his life. But let me tell y'all something. If Don King wouldn't have picked up Adrian Broner, it would have been worse. And Adrian Broner, the fact that he's still drinking, let me tell y'all this. That's not because of anything Don King did. Adrian Broner has admitted that he has those demons. But Don King has demons. And Don King, you know, it's so hard. I think you guys will agree. It's so hard to do the right thing when you're young. You know what I'm saying? There's so much temptation, and especially when you have a profile like Adrian Broner. You know how hard it is to kind of walk a straight and narrow path? But as you get older, right, it becomes a lot easier. That's why, like the way I grew up, I used to always be told, yo, you get more blessings when you're younger, when you basically can just keep a clean nose, you know? It was worded a little differently, but it ties into religion, right? But the same thing, you get more blessings because when you're younger, so many more temptations, etc. But as you get older and you get that gray in your hair, it's a lot easier to kind of clean up your lifestyle. But you still get blessed, but not as much because when you're younger, it's hard. And you look at Adrian Broner, it's tough right now. But Don King, he's kind of been there and done that. And I'm sure Don King can impart wisdom to him. And I think the wisdom he can impart is different from Coach Cunningham, Coach Kevin Cunningham. Kevin Cunningham's an ex-police officer. He knows a whole lot about a whole lot. Great mentor, my understanding. But obviously, he hasn't been able to get to Adrian Broner the way somebody needs to get to Adrian Broner. And I think this is a good opportunity for someone like Don King, if Don King truly cares about Adrian Broner. You see, it's one thing to be in somebody's life and being their coach. It's one thing to be in somebody's life and just being their associate. Some of y'all go to work every day and you're around a lot of people. That doesn't mean those people care. You are around a lot of people. You could be on the side of the road with your car broke down. These same people who you see every day walk by, good morning, how you doing? Nod your head every single day. You could be on the side of the road in this Texas 105-degree heat, 117 degrees with the heat index, right? And they'll drive right by you. You know why? Because they don't genuinely care about your ass. But then you have that one person who has some good in them, and that'll be the person who you probably don't even talk to that much. And they'll see you on the side of that road, and they won't hesitate to pull over and have that conversation with you. And that's when you get the opportunity to see who the real ones are and who really has your back. And the whole time, you would have never guessed that person would help you. But the people who you want to depend on, like those fools who were with Adrian Broner yesterday and escorted him to that interview, them cornballs who did that interview, Those were the ones he thought he could depend on, and they jerked him. They jerked him. For what? Some stupid views? Come on. But I think Don King can be that guy who can get to AB. But at the same time, Don King even said, man, he was making a joke about it, saying that Mike Tyson was a small problem, Larry Holmes was a small problem. You know, he was talking about he has small fighters who he managed like Holyfield. What he was saying basically is Adrian Broner isn't as much of a headache to him compared to some of the situations he had to deal with some of those ex Hall of Fame pro fighters that he is responsible for. And he's right. And that being said, what Adrian Broner has going on with Don King and his past before getting into boxing and getting into boxing, you think Don King hasn't dealt with the boxer who struggled with drug addiction, alcohol addiction, sex addiction, gambling addiction? And Don King, been there, seen that, got the T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't make me believe. Let me get over here so I can see these comments because the sun is bright. I can't see the comments. You can't make me believe Don King won't know what to say and how to say it. Doesn't mean Adrian Broner will listen, but you can't tell me that Don King won't be able to produce some kind of gem that would resonate with Adrian Broner. I'm gonna walk through this shade so I can see these couple comments. Okay, I apologize. It's so bright out here I can't see nothing on my screen. Nothing at all. Okay, I'm walking in the shade. Let me see what I saw a couple comments. Okay, so right here. My bad, I didn't know you were live. Facts. Hey, what's up, Mills? Nah, it's all good. I saw you call. Apologize for shutting down the call, but you know how it is. So let's see what happens with Adrian Broner. But I'm gonna tell you what. Aside from the stuff those cornballs did, this is what I'm looking at right now with Adrian Broner. He didn't look that great in his return fight. We know what alcohol can do to your body. It can deteriorate, cause your body to deteriorate, break down. It can slow you down and overall have adverse effects on your health, right? For Adrian Broner, just the idea that Adrian Broner is trying to sell the public on him coming back and becoming undisputed at 140. Let me tell you something. For those of us who were kind of looking at it saying, AB could do it. Regis Prograis didn't look that great. You got Rolly Romero at 140. You know, he's not looking that great. You got what's his name? Teofimo Lopez at 140. He looked good against Josh Taylor, but to me, there was nothing outstanding. And then you got Subriel Matias, right? So when you look at all four of those guys, they're all champions. They're all champions, right? But for Adrian Broner, I think we're giving Adrian Broner a chance at maybe clipping a Regis Prograis or clipping a Rolly Romero. But now, when you see he's still out here drinking, he's not taking care of himself, it's kind of hard to give him the benefit of the doubt when he hasn't cleaned up his act because he's not helping himself. If anything, he's pushing himself further away from his goal. And that's what we're really dealing with. AB is pushing himself further and further away from his goal and his desire of becoming undisputed at 140 pounds. I already think that's an extremely lofty goal. But lofty goals are uncommon for common people, and lofty goals are common for uncommon. And we know Adrian Broner has shown that he is very uncommon, and that's why he was able to become a 4 different weight division champion. But the stuff he's doing right now is common shit. Being drunk. I don't know if he was on drugs, but we know he was under the influence of something. But you know, that's not gonna get it. You look at Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather's never touched alcohol. I'm not saying people can't take a sip here and there. That's not what I'm saying. But we want to talk about there's 2 different extremes here. AB, all the potential in the world when he started off. All the potential in the world. Adrian Broner used to do amazing stuff in the ring. Everybody that about billions, Adrian Broner could have been a billionaire by now. He had it, man. He had the swag. You know, he had the look, all that brushing his hair and all that craziness. Um, Man had that. He was charismatic and he could fight. But that partying, that money, that fast lifestyle, not taking care of himself, it caught up with him. And it caught up with him uh, a lot earlier than it would have had he taken care of himself the way he should have. If he would have just given half an effort, Adrian Broner would still be out here and I think dominating. But too much inactivity, too many problems in the personal life, too much substance abuse, and just overall unhealthy lifestyle, man. And as a result, he's in the position that he's in right now, which is very unfortunate for him. So we'll see what the future holds for AB. But I ain't gonna lie, man, I do feel bad. I feel a little bad for him. With that being said, Jamal Charlo, can Jamal Charlo, become undisputed at 168? That's the question right now. And I think it'll be a beautiful thing because Jamal and Jamel, if Jamal can beat, which is, hey man, that's a huge feat right there, man. If he can beat Canelo Alvarez, that would be absolutely amazing to see those twins, Houston, Texas, both brothers become not just champions, like they've already done that. They're not the first brothers to be champions. They're not the first twins to be champions, but to be undisputed, especially in this four-belt era. But that's period. There's no twins that have been undisputed. Man, how amazing would that be if Jamal can get it together in training camp and get in the ring with Canelo in September and clip Canelo? You see what I'm saying? I'm telling you what this is. This is a cherry pick. People can say, man, Hood, man, you just out here talking. Yeah, I'm talking. We're having a conversation. Let me tell you what Canelo, and I even think Al Heyman, I think everybody, I think they see this as Canelo and his team. They may see Jamal as a cherry pick. I'll tell you what, why didn't they fight Benavidez? Why didn't they fight Morrell? Why didn't even Andre? Why you didn't fight Andre? Why'd you pick Jamal? To me, Jamal and Andre, their profiles are kind of similar, in my opinion. Why'd you pick Jamal? I'm going to tell you why they picked Jamal. One, to be fair to Canelo and his team, is they were going to fight Jamal instead of Bivol, but they chose to go with Bivol. So that Jamal had made it to that I would say that elimination process. It was him and Bivol. Canelo chose to go with Bivol, and we know what happened there. So they were looking at Jamal before, but Canelo tried to go and chase legacy. It didn't work out. So now, look, Jamal's been out the ring over 2 years. You think Canelo and his team don't know that? Jamal's had all kind of ups and downs. You think Canelo and his team don't know what's the stuff going on in his personal life? And then Canelo, he and Mauricio Suleiman, they all about that WBC strap. And let me tell you something. They want to make sure that Canelo gets an opportunity to clip Jamal, keep that WBC strap he has at 168. And you can't tell me that Suleiman, who I think, in my opinion, is corrupt, and he's not going to sit there and set up Canelo to lose. Because I'll tell you what, Suleiman he has shown that he tries to be in front of the camera fair to everybody. But I think that Suleiman is biased to Canelo. Canelo makes a lot of money for Suleiman. And I think honestly, Suleiman is probably a little concerned about some of that cartel if he was to put Canelo in one of those fights where Canelo ends up losing. I just think Suleiman has a lot of things that he has to be careful about how he's playing his cards, because I can't see him putting Canelo in position to where it's a lose-lose for Canelo. This fight with Jamal Charlo, Canelo's the favorite. He should be the favorite. But I think Jamal Charlo, if he can get it together and get back to being what, the hitman, then Jamal has a good chance on beating Canelo. Look, Canelo has slowed down. Jamal has a lot of inactivity, a lot of rust he's got to work off through sparring. Let me tell you something. Sometimes sparring's not enough, man. Sometimes it's not enough. It takes more. That's why they have these guys having 1, 2, or 3 comeback fights. You know, getting the joints to lubricate again, and getting the juices flowing, working on their instinctive nature, IQ, reflexes. A lot of training can help with that, but that's not necessarily all that's needed. There's a lot more that's needed. And I'm telling you, Jamal going in here with Canelo. Canelo's had 7 fights since during Jamal Charlo's inactivity. Canelo's fought 7 times. Did y'all know that? He's fought 7 times, man. That's crazy. Canelo Alvarez, and he's not just fighting bums. He's fighting elite opponents. 7 times since Jamal Charlo has fought. And now Canelo and Charlo about to get in the ring. But I just have a feeling if Jamal Charlo can push, and Jamal Charlo I think he has a good chance. Because let's be honest, Canelo, that 3-fight deal with PBC, they're killers over there. You got Jamal Charlo, that's the cherry pick that could go wrong, but that's a 50-50 fight. You got Earl Spence, that fight could happen, could be the next fight. Who knows? We don't know. But, if Spence beats Crawford, Crawford's stubborn, so he's going to want a rematch. So Spence and Crawford will have a rematch. The thing about that rematch, it may not be at 147. So we got to see what they do. But if it's not Spence, the second fight, more than likely, would be Andre. Canelo's not going to sit there and go fight Morrell or fight Benavidez. Gonna probably fight Andre. Al Heyman's gonna make sure his guys get paid too. But it'd probably be Charlo, Andre, and then Spence. If not Spence, then maybe the Benavidez fight. But I don't think Al Heyman can force Benavidez on Canelo. I think Canelo's in a position to where he can pick who he wants to fight. Canelo's not going to go over there and allow himself to lose total control of his career for any amount of money. Canelo chooses his own opponents, just like Floyd Mayweather used to choose his opponents. Remember, Floyd Mayweather, he kind of earned that right. That whole thing about the A side. Floyd Mayweather, he pioneered the A side. That's all you hear him talk about. Oh, I'm the A side. I'm the A side. Minor setback for a major comeback. What's the other thing he says? He's a true champion. This person is a true competitor. Those are all those little sound bites of Floyd Mayweather in his career. But the one thing I always heard Floyd Mayweather say, talk about how he's the A side. Well, Canelo's the A side. So for those of you who thinking that he's gonna get Benavidez, he's not gonna get Benavidez unless he wants to fight Benavidez. Canelo's not gonna throw himself in the ring with no damn Benavidez, man. He hasn't done it up to this point. Shit. Now I don't know how true it is, but he was offered $50 million. $50 million for Benavidez. That's one fight. And you don't know what's true. Only the fly on the wall knows if that stuff is true or not. But if Canelo was offered $50 million for Benavidez and he chose not to fight him, why is he going to come now with a 3-fight, $100 million deal? But then there's pay-per-view and stuff on top of that. So it could bubble those numbers up. Why would he come over now and maybe fight Benavidez for less money? Now, let me tell you what he's going to do. In my opinion, he's going to try to clip Charlo. He's going to try to clip Andre. He may fight Earl Spence in that third fight or Morrell or someone else. Then those 3 fights, that commitment's fulfilled, he's going to go over to the zone, and then he's going to destroy Berlanga. I think that's the next 4 fights for Canelo. Get through these 3 fights. Eddie Hearn's going to make sure he pushes Berlanga through his 2 or 3 fights to make sure Berlanga getting some experience and make sure Berlanga's winning, and then set up the Puerto Rico versus Mexico, which would probably be one of the bigger events outside of Earl Spence and Ryan Garcia, if Berlanga can get back to doing the business, and if Earl Spence can go over to PBC and win all 3 of his fights. And then you got something, and then what happens? All the momentum goes back over to Eddie Hearn. He gets Canelo, because Canelo's just going where the money is. Canelo's going where the money is. He's not even loyal to anyone. He's not disloyal. He's just a businessman. Nothing personal. You guys are going to use me, so I'm going to use you. And that's how it should be. These promoters are just employers, man. When they need to do cutbacks, they'll fire you. They won't give you a 2 weeks notice. No, you're gone. They don't care about your family. They don't care about you getting your affairs in order. Nothing. When they need to cut back because of funding or whatever, you're out of there. And they get rid of you. And they don't care. And the same thing, I think, how fighters should be and people out there in the workforce. When you got to go, you got to do what's best for you, man. So we'll see. But that being said, Jamal Charlo, I saw some clips of him sparring. It's just so hard to judge a clip. But bottom line, sparring is sparring. That's where you're supposed to get in shape. Who would have thought seeing Floyd Mayweather spar? Who's that guy he was sparring where Floyd was dead tired and the guy was getting the best of him? Because Floyd was coming off of taking a break from boxing. Spadafora, is that who it was? And the guy he was sparring was getting ready for a fight. So he was in fight shape. And if you would have never known who Floyd Mayweather was, and you just saw that clip of Floyd getting, outworked in sparring, you would never think that guy would have gone 50-0, become a billionaire, and be one of the best boxers ever to put on a pair of gloves. Because the clip is misleading. So I'm not going to buy in too much to what I'm seeing with Jamal Charlo. And let's just hope he can get ready, because he's got a serious obstacle in front of him. And that obstacle is Canelo Alvarez. But man, it's also a blessing for him to have been out the ring for these couple of years. All the issues with the wife, personal problems, fans turning on him, to return to the ring against the biggest name in boxing. And that's absolutely amazing. So his brother, Jamel, he's got a serious problem in front of him too. Let's just be real. When it comes to Tim Tszyu, I don't care what anybody says. Even I have to admit, I didn't recognize that Tim Tszyu was that kind of problem. I didn't think so. I just didn't think Tim Tszyu brought that much to the table. But I have to be honest with you, I see it a little bit differently now. I see it a little bit differently now when it comes to Tim Tszyu. There's something special about Tim Tszyu's hands. When he came to the States, he had that fight. He got dropped in the first round. I said, damn, Tim Tszyu's, he doesn't have a chin. He shouldn't be out here fighting. Not these elite guys. But then he came back, got the knockout. And I just figured, stars just lined up for him. But I didn't think nothing special about him. When he fought Harrison, I know he was in Australia. Harrison was just, to me, I was telling myself Harrison was just taking a final payday before he retired. He just kind of got lucky. Jermell broke his hand. Tim Tszyu needed a name, so he took the guy who beat Jermell. At least, I mean, he got the decision, so it is what it is, right? And he took him over there, but Tony Harrison didn't look like he was really trying to win that fight. They had him in a super small ring, so Tim Tszyu had all the advantages. But Harrison just seemed to be happy to be getting the payday. He didn't seem to care about whether he won or lost. So I didn't really give Tim Tszyu credit for that win either. But then with this Ocampo, I for sure thought Ocampo coming off of like a 7-fight win streak. I thought Ocampo, being a tough Mexican fighter, he's going to get him out the first 3, 4 rounds and then drown him and just outwork him. Man, that is not what happened. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I have a lot of respect for the hands of Tim Tszyu. And I'm gonna tell you what, when it comes to Jermell Charlo, I still favor Jermell Charlo, but I'm not stupid either. Because it's just like watching, and I've said this in other videos. When I watched Dillian White fight, I never thought anything about Dillian White. I didn't think he was special. I was like, how does this guy keep fumbling along, getting wins? It wasn't until he fought Lucas Brown. When he knocked out Lucas Brown with that big left hand, I said, it's the way Lucas Brown went down. I was like, he's got power. You don't hit somebody like that and knock him out like that unless you have real power. And when he tranquilized him, I said, okay, there's something special about Dillian White. Then he fought Joseph Parker, and he almost had Joseph Parker out of there. And I said, damn, Dillian White's the real deal. Yeah, he's got a lot of fundamentals. He's fundamentally flawed, but damn, he's got some power. And then you look at what Dillian White's been able to go on and do. And then now we all understand, okay, it just took some time with the right fights for him to prove himself, and that what we're seeing, these aren't flukes. There's something special about him. And I think with Tim Tszyu, what we've had a chance to see is there's something special about Tim Tszyu. Him getting these wins, they're not flukes. Tim Tszyu is a special fighter. But going in against Jermell, it's hard for me to go against Jermell, because Jermell has proven over and over and over that he is just able to level up against the opposition. You know, whatever they do, he's going to do it better. You know, if they want to be aggressive, he can be more aggressive. They want to be defensively minded, he's going to be even more defensively minded. They want to counter punch, he's gonna out counter punch. He's going to find a way to win. And for that reason, it's hard for me to go against Jermell Charlo. Now, that being said, Brian Castano landed some hard shots on Jermell. Hard shots on Jermell. And I do think Tim Tszyu, from what I've seen, seems to me that Tim Tszyu hits harder than Brian Castano. And I'm telling you right now, I do not think Jermell can afford to get hit by any of those Australian bombs that's going to be coming his way. Because if Jermell Charlo gets hit with one of those right hands or even a left hook in close by Tim Tszyu, Jermell Charlo could be in bad shape. We could see him get hurt, wobbled, and he could go down. I'm just being honest with you, because Tim Tszyu can hit. But the problem with Tim Tszyu is it's more like single shots. He's not a guy, like a perfect example, right, of a boxer puncher who gets heavy shots off in combination. A perfect example of someone who recently did that we all should remember, was Linares against Haney. It was at the end of the round, and Linares threw like a 6-7 punch combination. Pop, 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 pop. I think it was that last one. He hit Haney. Crazy power on that shot. And Haney was hurt. And Linares did that, and that was the last shot in the combination. So what I'm saying is, when you fight somebody who's a boxer puncher, who throws combinations, and all of those shots he's throwing have bad intentions on them, oh man, it's hard to beat somebody like that. And the thing with Tim Tszyu, he's just not that guy to me. He's not that guy. So that being said, I think Tim Tszyu, I think he has a chance. He's got a dog in the fight. I just don't think he beats Jermell Charlo. I mean, that's just my opinion. Some people are going to disagree, and that's cool. But I just don't think so. And I'm not loyal to Charlo because he's an American fighter. No, I call it like I see it. I think Tim Tszyu has a chance. I just don't think he beats Jermell. But hey, the best fighter doesn't win. It's the boxer who fights the best on that night. So we're going to see how it plays out. Now, a fight that I'm totally stoked about, if they can actually get Andy Ruiz to sign, is Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz. Let me tell y'all something. We need to be talking about this fight. People need Earl Spence and Crawford. I get it. That fight's getting all the attention. But Andy Ruiz, Deontay Wilder, man, I just got finished watching some more of Andy Ruiz's fights. I've seen all of his fights, but I was watching some of his fights again, man, when Andy Ruiz first started. Let me tell you, that little butterball, that little habichuela, that he got some heavy, heavy, heavy hands, fast hands, and he is what I'm talking about. The boxer puncher, a 230, 40, 50-pound Jorge Linares. The problem is, and I watched the fight, Andy Ruiz, he can close the gap. He can close the distance. You know, I just got finished watching the fight with Andy Ruiz fighting guys like, Gerald, not Gerald Washington. He was fighting that guy he fought before AJ. I watched it again. The guy's like 6'6", 6'7". But Andy Ruiz, his feet, they're not slow, man. And his hands are fast. And Andy Ruiz moves his head. He gets it off the line of fire just enough for him to close that gap. And he'll work behind the jab. But once he gets within range, Andy Ruiz is throwing. He's letting his hands go. And I'm telling y'all right now, Deontay Wilder, I favor him to win that fight. But man, he's gonna be in a world of trouble if that jab. He doesn't remain disciplined behind that jab. Keep it a nice, strong, fast jab. And if he can't drop that right hand and time it and land it. Because if he misses and he overcommits and he gets off balance, like we've seen before, oh hell, man. It may be all over for Deontay Wilder. Because Andy Ruiz, once he jumps on you, I mean, my boy is throwing combinations after combinations, and he's not a guy who's going to get winded. You watch Andy Ruiz, he doesn't really have stamina issues. Yeah, he's not throwing 200 punches around, but he doesn't really have stamina issues. Oh, damn, there's some lizards out here. I thought it was a damn snake. He doesn't really have stamina issues, man. I just think it makes for an interesting fight. And we know with Deontay Wilder, the longer the fight goes, especially if it's a mash-up, crash-up type fight, and it's physical, Deontay Wilder will get tired. That's all I'm saying. It's a very interesting match. Deontay Wilder's gone on record, said he's offered Andy Ruiz a lot of money. I wish they would say how much it is, but obviously they're putting up a lot of money to fight Andy Ruiz. It's something that should get Andy Ruiz to commit and sign, and I think he should, because let me tell you something. Deontay Wilder is right when he says, look, take the money, think about your kids, think about your mom, your father, think about the next generation. When will you have the opportunity to make this kind of money again, especially outside of boxing? And he's right. Whatever they offered him, whether it's $7 million or whatever, he should sign and take it. A guarantee. There's a guarantee they're giving Andy Ruiz. For those of you who didn't know that, Andy Ruiz is getting a guarantee. So if he's getting a guarantee of $7 million, to me, there's nothing to think about, because outside of Deontay Wilder, don't worry about what Deontay Wilder's making. If he's making 30, 40 million, don't worry about that. You look at your situation, because if he had a chance to fight Tyson Fury, where he was going to make less than what Wilder's giving him. You got a chance to fight Wilder now. If you didn't fight Tyson Fury and you're not going to fight Wilder, who are you going to fight? Because you're not going to make anything close to what Wilder's giving you. Well, I say to what Fury was going to give you, and you sure as hell ain't going to make anything close to what Wilder's going to give you, because Wilder's going to give Andy Ruiz more than what Tyson Fury was going to give him. So someone needs to kind of get involved and talk some sense to me, to Andy Ruiz, just like they need to talk some sense into Dillian White. You guys sitting around here fumbling around thinking you guys deserve more than what you're really valued. I'm not saying that they should just sit back and be quiet and accept anything, because look, like they say, the old school and the new school, we all say this: a closed mouth doesn't get fed, right? And I happen to agree with that. But I just don't see. It says Ruiz can stop Wilder. Yeah, I agree. I just don't see Ruiz making more money fighting a Frank Sanchez or Hergovic or whoever hell whatever route he goes. Well, he's gonna make the most fight right now is fighting Deontay Wilder or fighting Tyson Fury. And the fact that they're offering Ruiz a guarantee, he should take it. Isn't that means you're gonna get this no matter what. Don't worry about what Wilder's getting. Just take the damn fight. But yeah, I agree, Elder. I think Ruiz could win that fight. I do. I really do, man. I just think it's an interesting fight. Wilder's doing a lot of stuff, training, looks fast, looks strong, the head movement, everything. Man, I just watching that first fight, his first return fight after Fury, where he fought Hellenius. If you watch, I think it's the first shot Wilder threw was I think it was a jab to Hellenius' body. Hellenius countered him with a right hand. So Wilder threw that jab to the body, Hellenius countered. Wilder backed up immediately. He made this little funny expression on his face. It was one of those expressions like, damn, I just got hit. And I remember saying to myself, Wilder's learned so much that he wants to try to implement it all in the ring. Which you can't come in the ring and just try everything that you've learned. You got to be smart about your punch selection, and you got to try different things to see where you're getting your success and make the adjustments when necessary. But Wilder against Ruiz, I just don't think Ruiz is the type of fighter where anybody needs to be in the ring just trying stuff. I just think that's a recipe for disaster, to be in the ring just trying something to see how it goes, see if it works. Because if you're in there experimenting with Andy Ruiz, he will tranquilize you. Like that's not something. What's up, Eric B? That's not something that you want to do. Don't go and experiment with Andy Ruiz. He's hungry, man. Andy Ruiz has created a certain lifestyle. He knows if he beats Wilder, this is how it is in the heavyweight division, right? Every heavyweight outside of Wilder, Usyk, Fury, and AJ, every heavyweight knows if they get a chance to fight one of those four names, they could be the next person to end up out there in skills challenge promotion fighting in Saudi for 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, $100 million. So that's motivation. That's why Dillian White, he said, if he gets the AJ fight, he's pressing him. What did Earl Spence says? When I get in the ring, I'm stepping, right? That's what Dillian White says. He said he's stepping. He's not gonna wait, give Anthony Joshua any time to think about what he wants to do. He said, I have nothing to lose. I'm gonna jump on him and I'm letting my hands go. And I think that's what he needs to do. Jump on Anthony Joshua, catch him cold. Anthony Joshua, his own words, he doesn't want to be a bruiser. He wants to be respected for his intelligence and his boxing ability, which I think you need to be a bruiser at times, and then you need to show boxing IQ at times as well. So I think it's kind of stupid for AJ to get in the fight with Dillian White and not be looking to tranquilize him. Because if he's in there trying to box and be cute with Dillian White just may get through with the big left hand, because Dillian White's already said his ultimate goal is for him to get to Saudi Arabia and get the Wilder fight and get AJ's payday. And that's motivation. I'm going to tell you, even for me, let me get an opportunity. Shit, I'd be out there trying to fight AJ too. I'm being real. Let me see if I can read this comment. Hold on a second. It's so bright out here, it's hard to. Let me see. Okay, Eric B says, I want to see Wilder protecting the side of his head too. Both times he got hit around his ear by Fury, he was done. Yeah, something about those damn temple shots. But I'm gonna tell you, Eric, I did that one video about Wilder a while ago, Kinahan Fury fights. and I talked about a lot of stuff. But I was doing another video, but the way I was trying to do the video, I wanted to show clips of the stuff that I was talking about, you know. But but when you're creating those videos, you start having to worry about the copyright claims, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. So before I posted it, I saw that there was a violation, so I just stopped and I removed it. But Tyson Fury, he was throwing, um, he wasn't punching Wilder with his fist all the time. He was using the palm of his hand and hitting him. He was hitting him with his forearm too, and he was using his elbow and pushing his elbow to his face. Tyson Fury fought very dirty, and some of those shots that hit Wilder on the side of the head, some not all of those were closed fists. But bottom line is, Wilder can't take equilibrium shots. He can't take anything up near his temple, on his ear, behind his ear. That's just something that doesn't seem to work very well for him, especially when you get hit by those big guys. So I agree with you 100%. All the head movement is cool, but you got to get those hands up. Got to get those hands up, man. Because if not, and he gets caught by Andrew Ruiz, Wilder's in trouble. Because Ruiz, he's aiming for certain spots on a fight. You watch when Andy Ruiz fights. He's always aiming for the top of the head or close to the back of the head. He throws those shots all the time. He knows what he's doing. So he's a little bit dirty as well. A lot of fighters who do things and get an advantage. But that's something that is going to be a problem. I'm glad you said that. I'm going to do a video about that. Is for Deontay Wilder to really win that fight, he cannot afford to get hit on the top of his head or the side of his head. Not at all. With that being said, man, how long we been on here? Been on here about an hour. I'm almost to the house now. Go out here, eat a little bit. Get ready to take my son to go out here, man. We're going to practice some basketball, take my other son, do some golfing, and then we're going to go fishing later. So I'm about to jump off. That being said, is there anything, it's also stupid for telling people how you don't wait, you don't want to fight, and now you will. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. It's, money. Money is something else, man. Money make these people do stuff that they wouldn't normally do. You know how it goes, man. But I agree with you. You gotta be consistent. You gotta be consistent. But that being said, I'm about to hop off. Let me get in the shade real quick. Man, it's hot as shit out here. All right. Now I'm at the house. Is there anything y'all want to talk about before I get off? Stay blessed, yeah. You do the same, man. I'll be back on later. It's hot out here in this Texas heat, man. Y'all keep cool, eat some good. I'm going to holler at you, all right? I'm in the breeze.